Why humans fear change. Have you ever noticed that people often complain about their lives, yet refuse to change them? Someone might hate their job, dislike their habits, or feel stuck in a routine, but when an opportunity for change appears, they hesitate. This seems irrational at first. If change could improve our lives, why do we resist it so strongly? The answer lies deep within human psychology. For most of human history, survival depended on avoiding unnecessary risks. Our ancestors lived in unpredictable environments where the unknown could be dangerous. A new path through the forest could lead to food, but it could also lead to a predator. Because of this, the human brain evolved to prefer what is familiar. Even today, our minds often interpret uncertainty as a threat, despite living in a world that is far safer than the one our ancestors inhabited. This is why people frequently choose familiar discomfort over unfamiliar opportunity. A person may remain in an unhealthy relationship because it feels predictable. An employee may stay in a job they dislike because the alternative is uncertain. The fear is not always of failure itself. More often, it is the fear of stepping into the unknown. Psychologists refer to this tendency as status quo bias. It is the mental habit of preferring things to remain the same. The brain sees stability as safety, and safety as survival. As a result, we often exaggerate the risks of change while underestimating the risks of staying exactly where we are. Ancient philosophers understood this problem long before modern psychology existed. The Greek philosopher famously observed that everything is constantly changing. Rivers flow, seasons shift, civilizations rise and fall, and human beings themselves are transformed by time. Change is not an exception to life, it is the very nature of life. The paradox is that while we fear change, growth is impossible without it. Every skill we develop, every lesson we learn, and every improvement we make requires us to leave behind an older version of ourselves. The discomfort we feel is not necessarily a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes it is simply the feeling of growth taking place. Perhaps the greatest mistake is believing that avoiding change keeps us safe. In reality, refusing to change often carries its own risks. Opportunities disappear, skills become outdated, and years pass more quickly than we expect. The person who avoids change entirely may eventually discover that life changed anyway, just without their participation. The next time you feel afraid of change, remember this: courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward despite it. The future will always be uncertain, but every meaningful transformation begins with a step into the unknown.